All right. Well, welcome everyone to our exciting Zoom call this evening. We're really fortunate to have the speakers that we do tonight coming to us from the West Coast. And for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is John Shaw and I'm a National Marketing Director. I'm from Toronto, but I'm spending more of my time here in North Carolina these days, which is really exciting. And this whole Zoom call kind of evolved out of our Brave Leaders pod that myself, Jim, and Chris Cotton are half of our dynamic duo for this evening. We're all in the same pod group, and we were talking and thought that this would be very beneficial to our teams and anyone else that could participate. So I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to introduce Chris and Niki Cotton to everyone. They've been with the Juice Plus company now for over 27 years. And previously, Niki was an elementary school teacher, and Chris was a ski teacher with a variety of sales and construction-related jobs. And they met way back in 1980. Some of you may not have been born yet, but they met in South America, actually. And they got married in 1982. They opened up what they now refer to as the American Nightmare, a glass and construction company. And after about 10 years with that operation, they found themselves unhappy. Some of you might be able to relate to that. And really it was the schedule and just the situation they found themselves in, working long hours and not being able to spend a whole lot of time with their family. And with that happening, they decided to start looking for something else, and they discovered Juice Plus. And what they realized is they could actually really live a life of their dreams, and a life that a lot of people really wish they could. And, I'm sure they'll share with us this evening, but, Jim mentioned earlier while we were just chit-chatting that Chris likes to spend a lot of time on the water, and he's either on one board surfing or one board skiing, maybe sometimes two, I'm not sure, but they're both very active people, and they've been able to realize a lot of their dreams. And with those intentions, they created that ideal business that afforded them this. And what excites them the most is the dream life of abundance on all levels that comes from empowering others. So it's not just what they're able to do, but it's what they're able to help other people achieve in their life. And they know that building relationships is the key to joy as well as the key to our JP mission. They're getting paid to do what they would be doing anyways, sharing the concepts of abundance and love with all. They live in the mountains of Ashland, Oregon in the summer, and in Carpinteria, a beach town on the central coast of California in the winter. They've traveled Europe, Hawaii, Jamaica, Mexico, Thailand, Bali, and South America many times with their two beautiful daughters, Brittany and Chelsea. And they know the best is yet to come, and they're inviting all of you to come along with them. And Chris and Niki, take it away.
Hey, John, thanks for that introduction.
Yeah, thanks, John.
We're going to just really quickly tell you our story because we've got some really fun stuff to share from you tonight. And our story is from the past, and what we have to share from you is going to be important for you today. But just know that when Chris and I got married, got together 38 years ago, we decided that what we really wanted to do was own our own business, because that would allow us to choose when we wanted to work. It would allow us to be with our kids when we wanted to. Our kids weren't born at that time, but we knew we were going to have a family. And so we somehow decided that a construction business was going to be the way to go, of all things. And so we began this construction company. And I can just tell you, in the 10 years that we worked that business, there were some lean years, there were some good years. But at the end of 10 years, we found ourselves, as one of my distributors says, in debt up to our eyeballs and more. We owed about $250,000, and it was a very scary time. They had a lien against our house, and we were thinking, we're in our 40s, and we have two little girls. How the heck are we going to catch up? How are we feed our girls? What really is going to be able to keep our family together the way we originally pictured it? And we were very blessed to have somebody introduce the Juice Plus company to us, which Chris saw immediately. I did not. It took a lot of guiding me to the information and showing me what was available. And so my idea was, okay, we will start this, but we will put resumes out so we can get real jobs, so we could have real security. And the only thing I can tell you is that we have now had this unreal job for 27 years. And thank goodness we never got those resumes out. The happy ending to that story is that we were able to save our home. Flash forward, we were able to put both of our girls through college, and neither one of them chose an in-state regular school. One chose a private school, one chose out of state. So you're looking at some big bucks with no debt. And you know what's really great about being a parent? Oftentimes I think we say yes to our kids when we don't need to say yes, or maybe shouldn't say yes. But the times in life where you want to say yes, to the schools they go to the lessons they have, to the memories that you could make by being together, this journey, the Juice Plus Home, has allowed us to say yes to our girls when it's really important. And we...
Like Elton John tickets.
Yeah, like one of my daughters called a couple weeks ago and she said, I think she's 29, mind you, and she's no idiot. And she said, I think we should become a concert family. I said, so what is a concert family? My other daughter's 32. She said, I think we should go to more concerts together. I said, like what? Elton John last year, next year is his last year he's going to perform. We said, get the tickets. I had no idea that on my phone popped up $2,000. Bingo. So the deal is, though, is that I could say yes to that to continue to create amazing memories with my daughters. That, you know, it's a lark. It's not something that I would just say yes to at any given time. I think we steward our money well, but it was something in the moment that I could actually do. And and at the time to do it. And I didn't even have to ask the date. Get the tickets. We'll find the hotel. We'll be there. So this journey has really allowed that. The last thing I was going to say is that I really am not a winter person at all. I don't like being cold at all. So we summer by the beach in Santa Barbara. We winter by the beach in Santa Barbara. We summer here in Ashland, Oregon. We have a little cabin at a lake about 45 minutes from our home that all of our family calls their happy place. And it's this journey that's allowed us to do that.
Okay, that sounds great. I'm going to just pass on the rest of the part of my story, just because we have some information we want to share with you. And I will start with, first of all, think of our perspective of 27 years of watching this. Now, of course, Juice Plus is only 25 years old, so that gives you an idea, you know, that we were around before that started. But it's been fun watching that transition and transformation of the company. And, you know, we were definitely the pioneers, and we had some good things in place after a couple of years. And then some of the faces I'm looking at right now would show up and come up with better ideas. And it's been refined incredibly over 25 years, as has the product line. And so I want to share with you from our 27-year vision that it's never been easier to do our business. It's never been more fun to do our business. And it's never been more important to do what we're doing. And so I'm going to jump right in. Our presentation today is called Power Meals, as in MEALS. And you'll see where that comes from as we jump in. Whoops. Do we need this?
Mm-hmm.
I just unplugged this. It's been fun working together for all this time. Anyway, so the M stands for mastermind. And before I jump into mastermind,
no, it doesn't stand for that.
What's it stand for? Mindset. We're rocking.
So I have to tell you, the number one thing, if you ask, you know, how to make a marriage last, and in my book, the number one thing is a sense of humor.
Yep.
It really doesn't matter how bad things get or what's going on. Chris and I laugh so easily and laugh so often. And like, we're just tickled pink that he unplugged the computer and we're laughing at that. So that's one of the hints of what we're going to talk about. And Chris, do you want to, are you going to tell about the affirmation first?
Oh, yeah. Because I would have actually forgotten. Thank you.
Okay.
Nikki's going to post on the chat an affirmation, because the one thing I want to start off with is we believe to win your morning. Win your morning. And some of you probably know what I mean, but if you don't, it's when you wake up, take care of yourself, set your day up with a winning attitude, whatever that means for you. For us, we get up in the morning and we share this affirmation. We read it in the morning when we wake up and at night before we go to bed. And so talking about mindset, all right? not mastermind, but mindset. If you were in Phoenix conference, you heard half the speakers said this business is 90% mindset. If you're listening to the trainings now that they have on
The Freedom Revolution.
Yeah, the Freedom Revolution. A lot of them are beginning their talking about mindset. So it was quoted at Phoenix, 90 to 95% of your business is about mindset. So I want to open this up by starting with the fact that if any of you have ever heard or ever felt, and if you haven't, you're going to hear it from somebody, the words, I don't want to be a salesperson, right? It comes up a bit, right? I want you to be able to say, and if it's you that has said that, you can say this into the mirror. If you think we are salespeople, you may not understand exactly what we're doing here. Because we are messengers, we are educators, we are guides, and we're bringing an extremely important message to the marketplace, to the planet. And the first one is, you need to understand that for 25 years, we've been changing people's health. Now, for 48 years, we've been bringing in products that enhance people's lives to the market. 48 years with a track record unmatched. We are going to do $750 million in sales this year, and we're a year or two away from doing $1 billion a year. I'm not saying that to impress anybody, but I do like to use those figures when talking to people to let them know 25 years, 750 million, we're not fooling anybody, right? We're not fooling that many people, right? That's impossible. We are changing people's health. Now, that is not a small gift, but it is a gift. When you are talking to people, you got to have that mindset. You're giving them a gift. Now, what they do with the gift, you never know what people are going to do with the gifts you give them, right? Hopefully, they will unwrap them, but not everybody does. Some people don't unwrap them. Some people don't even hear the gift. But the gift is health. And if you don't think that's a large gift, talk to somebody that doesn't have it. If you don't have your health, you have one dream in life. Get your health back. When you have your health, you can have 1,000 dreams. We filled out a bucket list item. It wasn't very far into our career here, especially after Juice Plus. About 2 or 3 years into it, we realized finances is not going to be a stress point for us. It's actually going to be an opportunity. And we went from our first goal was financial security. We went zipping past that to financial freedom, to pass that to what we believe is freedom of choice. We can live wherever we want, do whatever we want, whenever we want. And we believe everybody deserves the right to design their own life. So when we started designing our own life, we put down a lot of bucket list items, and we've just been checking them off, and we're having a ball doing it. So that's the second gift, the gift of financial improvement. I say financial improvement because you never know what people are going to do with this opportunity. Are they going to go to an extra $500 a month, which is significant? That's great. Are they just going to get their product paid for? That's fine too. Or do they want to leave a legacy? Do they want to ride this? What's the one? I think this one comes out of North Carolina. Ride this like you stole it. Right? Oh, it's drive it like you stole it. Yeah. Anyway, so the second gift, financial improvement. And finally, the third gift is the vehicle itself. We have a vehicle that you go out and change other people's lives. That vehicle brings purpose and meaning to your life. And it can bring purpose and meaning to the people that want to share that message. So we have health, we have financial freedom, and we have fulfillment. You might have heard Jeff Roberti has said, we're not about the science of achievement so much as we are about the art of fulfillment. So those are huge gifts. So we are not salespeople, we are just messengers. So Nikki, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I want to go back to something for just a moment, because I want you guys to be clear on this affirmations and how we came up with what we're doing tonight. The affirmation is, I am committed to the mindset, energy, activity, and this is in your chat, so you can copy and paste it or write it down. I'm committed to the mindset, energy, activity, language, and skills to impact as many people as possible by attracting others to partner with us in rising to the next level of health and wealth. And you can see where meals comes from. Mindset, energy, activity, language, and skills. It's an acronym, and I don't know if that was said clearly, but I think it's really important to do that. So we are always talking about eating, living, being, having powerful meals, whether they're actually the food you eat, the people that you surround yourself with, the mindset you have, make it be powerful. I think my dog is going to dig himself all the way to China right now. It's like he's going through the carpet. He's going through. I don't know what he's doing. It's intense. He's having a powerful experience right now. I can guarantee it. So in terms of mindset, there's a piece about mindset that's really critical. And that is that whatever has happened in the past does not have to necessarily make your future. It does get you where you are. It is a result of the decisions you made, but you get to change that at any given time. And we like to talk about something called future vision. And with future vision comes seeing it before it actually happens. So for example, it's the MEALS acronym is in the chat. Man, no, if you look at the chat, you'll see it. It's written out for you in that affirmation. So if you have future vision, so for example, when you guys all started and you were working at introducing your first customer to Juice Plus, how many of you felt confident right out of the gate? Anybody be a little bit nervous, right? Now, if you had the ability at that point to have future vision, meaning where you are today. So I'm hoping that most of you, it's really easy to open up that conversation. I thought about you yesterday when you mentioned you were really tired. And I don't know if this is for you or not, but I found something that has so impacted my family. And we're finding that we have more energy than ever. It's plant powders. If I sent you a little of information, would you be open to it? How many of you feel comfortable today introducing Juice Plus to people all over the place, which you didn't a year or two ago? Do most of you feel comfortable now? I'm hoping you do. But a year or two or three ago when you started, you didn't. But if you'd had the future vision and you'd stopped and you took a breath and you imagined in your imagination, feeling, seeing, believing that in a short period of time it would be comfortable for you, because it is comfortable for you now. That's what happens. So my offering to you is if you are in a place where you're noticing that you're uncomfortable, shift your place to having future vision and imagine yourself having this be easier than it is. Imagine it being fun. Imagine, so for example, some of you may be stuck with your team imagining them walking across the stage in Tampa, that you really want some new sales coordinators. You really want some new senior sales coordinators. I wake up sometimes in the morning and I see myself in Tampa, and you know how everybody runs to the stage and they're trying to take pictures of their people walking across the stage? I see myself worming through those people to get up to the very front. I see those people walk. Some of those people are on the call, by the way, today. I see those people walking. I think, Heidi, you might be wearing red, not sure. I see you walking across the stage and me taking pictures of that, and then you coming down and us doing the big hurrah. And one day I got so into it, I said, Chris, I need a high five. You can't believe what I just saw this morning. It's important to have future vision, and all that it takes to make it happen is if it has already happened. Heidi and Carrie have already walked across the stage. All we have to do now is the footwork. We just got to put the footwork in place, but it has already happened in our mind, and it's happened in their mind as well. That's future vision. So rather than focusing on what didn't happen, what you didn't used to do, what you aren't getting, focus on what's possible and what you see in your future that is going to get you closer to the goals that you have.
Okay.
So
future vision is possibility vision, right? And it is not determined by the past. So we just, at Phoenix, we promoted out a new QNMD, and it was, as we have created this idea of future vision, we didn't let anything traditionally affect our thinking. In other words, well, I don't know if they could do 5,000 more volume in 1 month. Everything was in the possibility and everything happened. So it's a really powerful idea. It melts limitations. Future vision melts limitations. So I want to wrap up the mindset with one other thing about your personal values. And this is really, really important. If you haven't done this yet, yeah, we need to move fast, is look into what our mission is, inspiring healthy living around the world, where that aligns with your values. Okay, and I'm going to give you an idea. We're going to do a little exercise here really quickly. I got you all on gallery view, and so I'm sure most of you have thought sometime, why are you here on the planet? Right? It's kind of a deep conversation, but most of us have had it. So let's just do a little exercise. I want everybody, if you don't mind, I can see y'all, I think.
We can see you, so you have to follow the directions.
Yeah. So I want you to go into that conversation, but first, everybody close your eyes. Okay? Close your eyes. Go into that conversation about why you're here on the planet. And if the terms helping others or serving others comes up in your conversation, raise your hand and keep it up. Okay, keep it up. Keep them up. All right, everybody open your eyes.
Keep your hands up.
And keep your hands up. Look.
Just look at your around.
100%. All right. This is a really big aha moment for a lot of people. It was for me when I realized I'm doing what I'm here to do. I am helping others. I'm serving others through the mission of Juice Plus. And the skills that you learn and the personal development all comes along. So I hope you're excited about the fact that apparently you're in alignment with your values. So my last thing about mindset is just give this business an unconditional yes. And it has to be unconditional. If you were at Phoenix, you saw Lauren close it with the ball dropping exercise. The ball's going to drop. You're going to take some hits. So the unconditional part is important because it's not, I'm going to do it until it's painful, or it's not, I'm going to do it until it doesn't go well, or I'm going to do it until I get stuck. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to impact lives, and I'm going to make as much money as I want to make. Okay, quickly jump into energy.
Energy. So there's a thing that I've really seen in our business as it's really exploding. And that is when you become completely, as Jay Martin actually says, plumb obsessed. And we used to say to Jay, no, you mean obsessed with this, right, Jay? And he'd say, no, plumb obsessed. It's like the infection. It's like you have it so within you that you are infectious, creating contagion. That's what energy has to do. It has to be contagious. You have to be able to, and the way that the important thing that you need to do with your energy is you need to be able to generate your own energy. And if any of you follow Brendan Burchard or Tony Robbins, they talk about, bringing the energy. One of the things that Chris has often said is, if you're ever at a party, if you're ever at a meeting, if you're ever anywhere where there's other people and you feel like there's some low energy, there's something missing, that's the piece that you need to bring. You need to bring the missing piece. What's missing is you bringing that energy to the event. How many of you ever walk in a room and it feels like it's just kind of dull? And then somebody turns on some live music and all of a sudden everything shifts. We have the ability to not only shift our own energy, but help to shift the energy of the people around us. So one of the things I know that, and Carrie, you reminded me of this the other day on Brendan Burchard. He talks about, first of all, waking up to any situation. Who am I going to be in this situation? Am I going to be the good dad today? Am I going to be the good husband today? Am I going to be the good leader today? Who am I going to be? And what am I going to bring to the situation? And I love the way that he uses triggers, and it can be any trigger. Tony Robbins does a lot of this. He creates a trigger for himself to shift the energy, whether it's the moment you walk in the room. But the idea here is it's really important that you are bringing the energy. I think I really feel like the really important piece here, though, is that when you can create the energy and that you see it starting to be contagious, our job is to share it with the other people around us. That's really the key piece. So if 3 or 4 of you are feeling really good about where you are in your business, your job is to spill that over onto the people around you to help raise that up. I know there's a quote. I think I finally learned the quote. Don't tell me. All tides, I can't do it, raise boats or something. What is the quote?
A rising tide raises all boats.
How come I not do that? A rising tide raises boats. Can you turn that off, please? The idea here is that I just like to say we can float all boats together. It's a lot easier. So how are you floating your boat, and how are you getting other people to float their boat? Okay, so the next piece
is activity. A is for activity. Okay, too many distractions.
You can turn it off.
All right. Jim Rohn says that even a brilliant idea without action is stillborn. And so you can have your mindset, you can have your energy. We've got this incredible product, incredible company behind us. But if you don't share it with somebody, it doesn't matter. You've got to go into action. And usually that's pushing the comfort zone. And that's why nothing good has ever happened while you sit in the comfort zone. You have got to push your comfort zone a little bit. You've got to go into activity. Einstein said nothing happens until something moves. Here, that would be you. All right? So, Nikki, what is a good activity?
So, first of all, one of the things that I want to talk about around activity is if you know where you're going, you know what your next step is. Say it's to become sales coordinator, you want to fast track. The question to ask yourself is, does your behavior match what your goal is? And how do you know that? How do you know if your behavior matches it? Look at your calendar. If your calendar is not filled with connection calls, if your calendar is not filled with appointments, if your calendar is not filled with connecting with the people that you need to talk to, then your behavior is not matching your goal. So one of two things has to happen. Maybe the goal is not what you really want, and you need to change that goal if your behavior is not matching. If it's really what you want, you have to ask yourself, why is it that I'm not doing what I said that I would do? The number one top payoff activity. Anybody want to unmute themselves and tell me what the number one payoff activity is? High activity.
Talking to people.
Talking to people. What's number two? Talking to people. What's number three? Talking to people. That's all I got to say. That's your high payoff activity.
Okay. The other thing about activity is you may need accountability. That's your choice. We highly recommend it based on two reasons for accountability. The first reason is the human's infinite capacity for self-delusion. All right? That's a good reason for accountability. Our infinite capacity for self-delusion. The second reason is to know where you are on your track. Clarity of activity is just as important as activity. If your goal is QNMD in Tampa, then what is it going to take? What's the structure? What's the daily activity that you need? All right, we're going to jump over to the next one, which is, I want to talk about commitment versus attachment really quick. Can we go 2 or 3 minutes over here, John? Is that going to be all right?
Yeah, we got plenty of time, Chris. I'll be on 40 minutes. We good.
Okay, we'll keep it under 40. Great.
You can go as long as you want. We got all kind of time.
All right, thanks. So on activity, I want to talk about commitment versus attachment. This was a huge one for me. Now I'm working with a personal coach, and this was one of the greatest things I learned. We were looking at 100 Club last year, and she noticed I was really attached to it. She said, "You're really attached to that, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "How's that working out for you?" Well, here's the thing about attachment. It creates stress. And you can hit your goals by, let's say it's 100 Club, by just being a workaholic and forgetting everything else in your life and just work. But that creates stress, and it creates frustration and apprehension. And so when you're attached to the outcome, you have two directions you're going to go. You're either going to go into the stress side of things, pushing yourself hard, or you're going to get frustrated and go into the resignation side of the linear line, okay? Either one don't serve you very well. But if you're committed, commitment is about who you are. You all raised your hand about serving others and helping others. You're committed to that. So you might be committed trying to get to national marketing director in the next year or two, but if you don't make it, you're still on the track. You have an unconditional yes. And commitment is who you are. There's nothing to fix. You just keep sharing the message, and you just steadily rise to your goals. And it's done with ease and grace and authenticity. I can say that, which is really, really important. We are sharing this message authentically because it's important, and we're sharing it with love. When we open up that conversation with somebody, we are loving on them, which is a great segue into language. Okay, so L is for language, and this also helped me quite significantly. If you've been around for a while, you've probably heard, it's often attributed to Sean Myers, one of our more successful national marketing directors. He said, you get to decide what you're going to believe, and what you believe determines what you experience in life. Okay, pretty profound. You get to decide what you're going to believe, and what you believe determines what you experience in life. So you get to decide what you're going to experience. Somebody shared with me just last fall that your language determines your experience. Your language determines your reality. And it's, to me, it's even, in a sense, more powerful because it's so tangible. It's so manageable. If you watch your language, you can change your future. You can change your experience. It's been said, and I'm sure you guys have heard this said 1,000 different ways. Your word is your world. It's part of the 4 agreements, being impeccable with your word. I mean, we've all heard it said, but when they said that your language determines your experience, a light went off for me. So as a team, we have started changing our language. And this is really important. We've dropped some of the phrases like, what?
Are you going to want me to talk about this?
You're doing the phone.
Okay. Go on.
I'll just say this one, that she has more she's going to share. Mm-hmm. Instead of dripping on people, remember we used to say dripping on people? No, dripping is a form of torture, right? That's not work. We're shining on people. We're loving on people. We're catching ourselves with the language. You want to say something?
Well, I just want to say how many times you hear people say, I've been dripping on this person for 2 years. Well, no wonder they didn't say yes to you, been dripping on. That's like waterboarding somebody. It's like, who wants to be dripped on? But when you shift that language, just the difference between, I've been dripping on her for 2 years. It sounds frustrating. It sounds somewhat annoying, and it doesn't sound fun. But when you say, I've been shining on this woman for 2 years, I've been loving on her for 2 years, and she started the product today. Can you see the shift in energy? We talked about energy earlier, that your language also determines sometimes how you're going to be and how you're going to feel. So that's a really important one. Another one that we have come up with, instead of, how many people say, well, I closed the deal today. When I hear that, I cringe. I think about a car salesman. I closed the deal today. There's something about that that just gives me shivers. What if we thought about, I opened the door for someone to get healthier today, and they've become a customer. And when you say to one another, I opened the door, that person that you're saying to understands that you mean someone either became a customer today or became a distributor today. I opened the door. The other one is, we've stopped saying, I got a customer today. I'm going to get a customer today. How about saying, I attracted a customer today? I attracted a new distributor today. Doesn't it feel better than getting somebody? So when you really shift a few words like that, it tends to be, it's really fun. Not only that, we have a lot of fun on our Voxer chat. Because the other day, somebody was starting to leave a message, and they said, I should. No, I shouldn't. And then they erased it, and then they said the message the way they intended to. But you can hear us practicing with one another and giggling over the fact that it's not always easy to shift language that you've been using for 50 years to some different words. But I'm telling you, I don't think you'll ever hear anybody on my team ever say I'm dripping on somebody. It's just not going to happen on my team anymore. And the final piece real quickly is, how many of you wake up in the morning and say, I can't wait to do a follow-up call? I don't know about you, but it's not the first thing that happens when I wake up in the morning. So Chris came up with something. We realized that nobody wants to do follow-up calls. So we've actually called those FU calls, because nobody wants to do them. And instead of doing those FU calls, that stands for follow-up, everybody. You're laughing. I don't know what's going on in your head, but just saying, what we do now is we do empowerment calls. I'm going to do empowerment calls. I'm going to expose somebody to Juice Plus today. I'm going to share the business with them. I'm going to show them the next step, empowerment calls. And the first call, the whole time when you are sharing Juice Plus as a product with somebody and you're attracting them to become a customer, when that whole process is called a transformation call, and when it happens, you've just had the possibility of transforming somebody's life by getting them on Juice Plus. Same thing, when they join your team, there's the possibility of transformation of their whole life. All of you that have been with our Juice Plus company know all the ways that your life has been transformed, not only by the product, but by our company and by our community. So instead of follow-up calls, we actually have what we call empowerment calls. And the S is for last.
No, wait, we also have love calls and abundance calls, but we'll have to do that on another call. But so the S stands for?
The S stands for skills. So meals, mindset, energy, activity, language, and skills. And the skills that we tend to refer to as the GoPro, there's only 7 skills that you have to learn to really be good in this business. Just 7. And Jim Rohn always says, I can't do quotes. I just can't. My mindset, I can't.
Master, yeah, we have to change that.
I know.
Master a handful of skills, it will lead to riches.
Yeah, master a handful of skills and that will lead to riches. And you know what? It's not just financial riches. That's a really important piece, because a lot of people that come into this incredible mission that we have are thinking, I don't care about the money, I just want to impact lives. And so either way you go, whether you're talking about finances increasing or impacting lives, they go together. If your check is bigger, I can guarantee you you're impacting more lives. So skills, learn those 7 skills. You know, that's a really key piece. And if you would ask me what I think is probably the most important skill, it's inviting. Inviting to events, inviting to a call, inviting to a connection, whatever it is, learning how to invite well and invite from the place of your heart, not from a place of your head, will make a total difference in this mission for all of you.
We always like to say that the S actually has two words. The last S is stay. Stay here. There's other deals. There might even be deals that make you money faster. As Jay says, there's lots of ways to make money. There's not very many ways you can make money and make a difference. Okay? And, you know, what got us here in the first place personally was Jay. I spent 5 weekends, you know, getting ready to file bankruptcy, driving around the West, listening to somebody that already made $1 million with this company. But that's not what got us started. It was Jay. When I saw him twice in those 5 weeks. We're talking 1990, by the way. And I knew he was a man of vision and a man of integrity. And so we put our marbles with Jay, and we always will, you know, and just stay in line. And this opportunity to change the planet, I want to say 2 things. One is that I truly believe, and this has all happened in the last year for me, I really, through the idea of aligning with my values, I realized I'm using all the skills. I'll be 70 next year. And I'm using all the skills I've learned in 69 years to make this thing hum with this mindset and the energy and what we shared with you today. And so I am very clear I'm doing what I'm here on the planet to do. And I'm also very clear that we are creating the change that we seek here on the planet. All we really have to do, and our biggest message is being authentic, being heartfelt, authentic, and honest with our message. And our message is so huge, we're not letting ourselves get in the way of sharing it. When you roll that out for people and come from your heart, your authenticity will be just as attractive as Juice Plus. Okay? And that's going to make a difference. So I just feel like I want to share one last thing, because I haven't spoken with this group before. And I want you to, a lot of times you hear about residual income, but a lot of people don't really understand what it is. So I'm not going to choose you this time, Heidi, to share. I'm going to do it myself, but I see you're ready. So my definition of residual income is that, and it's the same thing with impacting lives. With our program, you have the capacity to be paid for the rest of your life on your next conversation. And it can be said also this way: you have the capacity to affect 1,000 lives or 10,000 lives with your next conversation. So it's an incredible opportunity, and it's actually an incredible responsibility. We are making a difference on the planet, and so get your mind right and let's go do it together. That's it for us, John and Jim.
This is awesome, guys. And I think you can all tell after 27 years, Nikki and Chris still have the fire. And it's really a blessing to be friends with them. We've known each other for myself, 27 years. I started in April of 1990. I remember my first conference, there were thousands of people there. And Chris can tell you, both of them can tell you, it was mainly men.
Yeah.
But today we've got a unique opportunity for everybody who chooses to participate in our business. And I really love what y'all did today, because it's sharing from the standpoint of what's your approach, what is your mindset. Those things you talked about are all necessary to be successful. But we didn't talk about fruits and vegetables. We didn't talk about how do you make a phone call, you know, those things that we know we need to learn, but we can learn that from each other. What I really, and John and Courtney's there too, what we really appreciate is that y'all came from the heart. Y'all very authentic. You know, I think those of you that are just starting the business, we've got a couple of new team members on here.
Cool.
You know, this is real. These people are real. We've known them now for 27 years, and they're sharing from their heart. Here they are after 27 years. Chris will be 70. You know, most people will be thinking about retirement.
Not me.
He's thinking about desirement, right?
Desirement. Oh,
That's a
What
good
do I
one.
want to do the rest of my life? You know, how long can we make a difference? As long as you're willing. As
yeah.
long as you're willing. I
Cool.
just want to thank both of you. And I don't know if, can we maybe stop the recording, John, and then we can take a few questions? Let's do that. Thank you, Chris and Nikki, for being on with us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate your partnership. We appreciate your authenticity. And I've not ever been around a group of people like we have the opportunity to be with. And y'all are great examples of that. And John and Courtney are also. It's all about relationship.
Yep.
We're friends. If ever I'm in Oregon, you guys would probably welcome me to your home. Same.
Right.
It's a very unique business, and that's what it's all about, is relationships. So we appreciate y'all sharing. I just have one question before we take it off recording. Nikki, share about the book. How can people get the GoPro book?
Oh, you can go to network marketing. GoPro network marketing is at network marketing GoPro. I can't remember, but if you put GoPro in, it'll come up. Somebody can type this out. But right on the home page, the landing page, it'll tell you how to get the book for free. You can get that book for free. You just pay for shipping and handling. I love having to gift my distributors the CD so that they can listen in their car. But I think even on there, you can even get it on Audible and listen to it over and over and over again. We were doing business builder skills for almost a year, once a week, and we would go through the 7 skills and then start again, and go through the 7 skills and start again. And I had seasoned people on our calls that all of us were learning together. So you can get that book for free.
Do that on Sundays.
I want to say something to Christina, because she said that she likes doing the follow-up calls. And I just, number one, want to congratulate her for that. And if I were you guys, I'd hang on to Christina, ask why she likes them, what happens on her calls. She's got some information to share for you. If she's enjoying her calls, she's doing something right. So Christina, I just want to acknowledge that you said that you like to do those calls. And I think that's important.
All right, hang on just a minute, guys.